and the other policies which they have to do. So I think it's a role of business heads and it's a role of department heads who are digitizing or internalizing the process to help HR realize that the hiring or the training has to change a little from what we've been doing so far. I don't know, Dipali, would you like to sort of build on this?
Yeah, thanks, Kavita. I think before even coming here, I run a CMO group and I'm also part of another women's quality HR, and I did a little conversation on WhatsApp, checking with them what's the training status on digital, because I also thought that training is one of components in creating a digital inside an organization. And I found two interesting examples before I share my own example of the organizations that I work for. I found that Infosys and IBM do a very, very good job of doing the digital training in-house. Maybe they realize that as an organization, for the business to succeed, it's mission critical. So I think they're probably quicker on the block in terms of creating modules which people can learn from. However, two things I found interesting. Both the Infosys team told me that marketing was a very, very huge partner in creating those modules along with the HR team. They couldn't have been created without that. And IBM also gave me a sense that business leaders were clearly involved. So I think the whole issue is that how mission critical it is for the organization, and therefore either you can call it top management, or you can call it business criticality, or you can call it business leaders involvement. That becomes extremely critical for the training to happen. I take your point that the HR teams are extremely busy doing a whole lot of things, hiring, compensation, appraisals, and maybe also in their own business they're not kept up to track, or they're not the latest knowledge of digital, so to speak, in their business has not happened for them. A marketing person's life has got impacted dramatically in the last 4 or 5 years because of the digitalization that has happened to the consumer. But the HR's consumer is actually the employees. And there is not too much that has changed in that consumer's life in the last 5 years. So they've not had the need to. Now when I go back, and I used to work for L&T Insurance at one point of time, and that's really, and I started looking after the e-commerce business over there, and I realized that my team needed to know the latest things. There are two things that we did. One is, of course, one could go and look at a digital training thing, which we did. So for example, I know I saw Pradeep here, and Digital Vidya as a training program is available, but this was something that I asked for and I found out. I put all the CXOs along with me into a training workshop with Digital Vidya. I forced my boss to go for one also. What that did for me was that it made my conversations in future when I went asking for budgets extremely easy. The second thing that I did for my team was that I could not have sent them, every 2 months, 3 months into a training program, but we started a lecture series internally every month where I was calling the digital leaders from various organizations. And a UX UI expert, a digital agency expert, somebody who's expert in social, somebody who's an expert in performance. I would actually call them, and we would learn concepts that we would try and see later on, how to use them. So I also noticed that in the last 4 or 5 years, the mandate for training has somehow moved on to the CMO, who wants his team, to be trained on the latest. My experience with Mahindra's when I worked there was, of course, very different. And I have to give credit to Anand. He's really a leader, out there who understands tech. And because we were doing some great work at Mahindra Holidays, he actually mandated the central HR team and said that, look, why don't we look at this work? Not only that, he actually gave a mandate to the HR team when I was working closely with them to say, can we increase the digital quotient of the Mahindra group? So I'm just saying that by giving these 2-3 different examples, I want to say that different corporate organizations are on a different journey. There are the ones where you may not have formal training program, let's say like L&T Insurance. There are the Mahindras who are a traditional manufacturing setup with some service industry program, who are looking at it and saying that digital quotient of the company needs to go up, which means everybody needs to be better on digital from whatever they are doing. And there are the Infosys and the IBMs in the world who are actually taking stride forward, and have created already fantastic programs.
So two very big points from your session, from your part is that the content development of it. So at WebSpiders, the onboarding PowerPoints are done by me, because I don't think anybody can put across the organizational DNA as well as we can. And the second part about the crowdsourcing of learning content via having webinars, having sessions, etc. It's worked wonders with the organization, because we are moving into a campus which is about